Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Listen, we've got some news today, some updates regarding Chelsea at the moment, some transfer news regarding Noni Madueke. So listen, if you are keeping up to date with this story, if you want to be kept up to date, smash the like button, subscribe to Chelsea Fan TV. This is where you can get all of the latest Chelsea news and transfer news as well. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, Fabrizio Romano posted in the afternoon, not long ago, Arsenal have submitted an initial bid for Noni Madueke, around £50 million package, add-ons included. Chelsea want more than a £50 million fixed fee, as the Elanga deal with Newcastle and Nottingham Forest, as well as similar deals, remain their reference. Kudos would be another example at £55 million from West Ham to Tottenham. It says they have a good relationship between the clubs, Chelsea and Arsenal. Madueke has agreed terms with Arsenal. Now, obviously, this is something that we heard about a number of days ago anyway. Arsenal have already agreed personal terms with Madueke. It's a 5-year deal. Madueke is prioritizing Arsenal over anyone else. Now, he's played 46 times for Chelsea this season, 5 times in the Club World Cup in the United States, and in 32 of our 38 Premier League games. In those games, he has registered 11 goals and 5 assists, an improvement on his 8 goals and 4 assists from the 23-24 season. This isn't obviously the first piece of business that Chelsea have done with Arsenal. They triggered Kepa Arrizabalaga's release clause, which was £5 million. So this would be the second player, if Arsenal were to get this done, that they bought from Chelsea. Now, let's talk about it. First of all, how do I feel as a Chelsea fan? And do I think this is a good deal for the club? If Chelsea were to accept this bid, which it doesn't look like they will, but if we were to accept this bid of £50 million, which includes add-ons, then honestly, I think it's a very fair deal. I'm not going to lie to you. I expected Arsenal, from what we heard, Arsenal were going to bid around 40. And then Chelsea were looking for 50. That's what I expected. And then they'd meet somewhere in the middle around 45. But it's not been the case whatsoever. Arsenal have gone straight in with a very serious offer. This offer shouldn't be snuffed at. This is an offer that they've clearly considered, and they don't want to be going into the negotiating table, submitting bid after bid after bid. They want to get this deal done. And 50 million quid is proof of that, because I don't know many other clubs in football that would pay that for Noni Madueke. If I was in Arsenal's position and I was looking at Chelsea and I wanted Noni Madueke, I don't think I'd want to pay 50 million quid, to be quite honest with you. Now, obviously, he's got a number of qualities. He's a good player. Nobody's sitting there saying he's rubbish. But does he justify that price tag? I would argue that he probably doesn't. But he does bring something that Arsenal are very keen to have in their team. He's a winger who can play on both sides. He's left-footed, but he can play on the left. We've seen that under Maresca. I think Madueke's had a number of really good games on the left. He's also had some poor games, but he's shown that he can play on the left. And obviously, we know him mostly for playing on the right-hand side, trying to cut inside on the left, and taking players on individually. A player who loves to go 1v1 against other fullbacks and takes them on. The amount of players out there in world football, not just the Premier League, when you see a winger there and you say, come on, mate, have a go, and they pass backwards every single time. Madueke is not what I would class as one of those types of players. Much more direct than what you get in a lot of wingers out there, and certainly has a lot to give. And if Chelsea want to keep him, I'm not going to sit here and be upset. But I don't think that we we would be smart to turn down £50 million for Noni Madueke when we can literally recoup the money that we paid for Jamie Gittins, on top of the fact that we've made about £15 million of profit by selling Madueke for 50 million. That's providing that, you know, all that money gets paid. I think it's great business for Chelsea, if I'm totally honest. And if you match that with the fact that Madueke has already agreed personal terms with Arsenal, he hasn't had a long time to think about this, or maybe he has. I don't know. He's clearly set his mind on a move. And the fact that he's accepted this deal shows that he doesn't really have any loyalty to Chelsea. That's just the harsh reality. That's not me hating on Madueke or you know, feeling disrespected. That is what's happened. He has agreed personal terms with them while still being under contract with Chelsea, and the clubs are yet to find an agreement. This isn't a player that we've actively tried to sell. It's a player that, a bit like Nicholas Jackson in some way, if the money's right, then you can go because you're a part of the project, but you're not a key part of this project. We're not looking at Cole Palmer, Enzo, players like that. It's a different bracket of player. And when you see that we're able to offload him and, quite frankly, easily replace him with either Gittins or Esteval, who I think are both probably similar, if not better, profiles for this team, then I don't think you could argue with that decision. Now, it looks like Chelsea are going to turn this bid down, although The Guardian did say that there is a feeling at Chelsea that Noni Madueke has not progressed enough. And that is true, because, again, if you look at the stats, if you look at what he's done over the past 2 seasons, this season, you know, he's got 11 goals and 5 assists. And before that, he had 8 goals and 4 assists under Pochettino. And you go, well, that's an improvement. But this season, he's played 46 games, or he's been involved in 46 games. And under Poch, he was involved in 34. So you would expect GA to be higher if you're playing an extra 12 games. So it doesn't really make his goal scoring and assist stats much better. He's just playing an awful lot more games. He's having a lot more opportunities. Is he better at tracking back? Yes. Is his mentality better than what it was last season? Well, under Pochettino, definitely. So there are aspects of his game that you can say have improved. But to sit here and say that he's massively leveled up would be disingenuous, because he hasn't. Now, he still has plenty of room to grow. He's 23 years old, and he's been at Chelsea since he was about 20. So he's been with us for about 3 years now, maybe 2.5, because we signed him in January under Potter. Listen, I like Madueke. I think he can do good things, but if the money's right, the money's right. And I think the money's right now, to be honest with you. I think 50 million is a good bid. But I think Chelsea will probably reject that, and then we'll be looking at 55. Or they're saying they want at least 50 million fixed. So that's without add-ons. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I do think that there's a possibility Arsenal will go higher than 50 million, because he is a profile that they're looking for. He's played in the Premier League. He's young. He's English. He probably will fit very well into what Arteta's doing. And as a squad player, if you've got Martinelli on the left and you've got Saka on the right, you've already got cover with Trossard on that left, but you haven't really got a player that can help Saka. And I think Sterling was meant to be one of those players, but that obviously didn't work out. So they're looking for a long-term option, an option that fits within the wage structure as well. I think his wage will pretty much be the same, if not maybe get a little pay rise at Arsenal. And maybe that's a factor for why Madueke wants to leave, because he might get paid more. I mean, Chelsea do have a pretty strict wage cap, so there's an argument to be made about that. But yeah, I would rate this transfer quite well. I think it's good business for both sides. I think both clubs get what they need with this transfer. Chelsea obviously need to raise cash through player sales in order to register the players that we have signed recently for UEFA competitions. So Liam Delap, Jamie Gittins, João Pedro, Esteval, all of those players, Andre Santos. We won't be able to register them for the UEFA competitions until we've raised at least 60 million. And getting 50 for Noni Madueke, I mean, that makes it quite easy because you've got a pretty clear sale in Petrovic. That's 25, and you're surely going to offload more players on top of that. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we're in a very comfortable position from an FFP standpoint, PSR, and we're in the driving seat in terms of the sale of Noni Madueke because we don't have to sell him, but we probably will because we have enough quality without him anyway, and maybe we're just going to reinvest that money on another good young player. And I don't have an issue flipping young players for a profit if the end goal is still to upgrade on what we have. And based on what I'm seeing right now, I think we're doing that. And hats off for that. Fair play. So yeah, let me know what you think, guys. Do you agree or disagree with this transfer? If you're a Chelsea fan, are you happy with this? Do you want it to happen or not? If you're an Arsenal fan and you're watching, would you like Madueke at Arsenal? And do you think 50 million is too high, or are you getting a bargain? All the best, guys. We'll catch up very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.